Want to speak real Spanish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SpanishPod101.com.
Hola, soy Brenda Romaniello, soy tu profesora de español. Today we're going to have a look at the difference between también and tampoco in Spanish. These two adverbs create a little bit of confusion amongst Spanish students because maybe in their original language, native language, they use it differently, or maybe because of the word order or where to put it in a sentence could be a little bit different, and therefore today we're gonna see how we use it in Spanish correctly. Let's start with when we use también. So también, we use this adverb when we want to establish that we agree with what someone else is saying or that we share exactly the same idea, information, etc. We want to say that we agree or we have a similarity with that with this person, whatever they are saying, but it has to be an affirmative statement. So let's have a look at some examples of when to use también in Spanish. Tengo hambre. Yo también. Vamos a comer algo juntas. As you can see here, Maria is saying, I'm hungry, and Laura is also hungry, so she will say, yo también, me too, and then can suggest something like, let's go grab something to eat together. In the case of tampoco, we're going to use it in a similar way, but for a negative statement. So if we want to agree or express that we are sharing something similar with the speaker, but in a negative statement, in that case, we're going to say tampoco. Let's have a look at some examples. Yo no tengo hijos. Yo tampoco. As you can see here, Maria is saying she doesn't have any children, and Laura doesn't have children either, so she will say yo tampoco, neither do I. You can simply answer with yo tampoco, or you can repeat the rest of the sentence in order to emphasize your agreement by saying yo tampoco tengo hijos. Something that you need to pay attention to is when you want to use the adverb of negation no and tampoco in the same sentence, because it is allowed. You can use these two adverbs in a sentence in Spanish, but sometimes some students get confused on the word order or how to use them. So let's have a look at some examples of when you can use no and tampoco in a sentence in Spanish, but in the correct form. Yo tampoco no fumo is incorrect, because I know that we have to negate a verb in Spanish by putting no before the verb, no fumo, I don't smoke, but it's incorrect to say yo tampoco no fumo. We don't need to use the no before the verb in this case if we want to use tampoco, because already tampoco is a negative statement. We're saying that I don't smoke either in Spanish with tampoco. So the correct form is to say yo tampoco fumo, I don't smoke either. Let's have a look at another instance when we can use no and tampoco in the same sentence. No come carne, pero tampoco come pescado. No come carne, ni tampoco come pescado. So here pero and ni are both options, and we're saying he doesn't eat meat, nor or neither does he eat pescado. And it would be the same as saying no come carne, no come pescado. Now let's talk about a mí también and a mí tampoco, and we use these structures and it gets a little bit more confusing with the verb gustar when we want to talk about what we like or we don't like in Spanish and someone else wants to agree or disagree, wants to agree with us and say, oh, me neither or me too. So because we have a different structure with gustar and I say a mí me gusta, we cannot say yo también if you want to say that you agree with me and you also like what I'm saying I'm liking. You have to say a mí también, I like it too. The same with tampoco. If I say no me gusta el chocolate, I don't like chocolate, you want to say that you don't like it either, you cannot say yo tampoco. Here you have to say a mí tampoco, I don't like it either. Let's have a look at some examples. A mí me gusta la cerveza, A mí también. I like beer, so do I, or me too. You can't say yo también here, remember that. And the same for the negative with tampoco. No me gusta comer verduras, a mí tampoco. I don't like eating vegetables, neither do I. You cannot say yo tampoco here. As I was saying before, remember that we are going to use these adverbs when we want to agree whether with someone, whether they are saying something in an affirmative statement or a negative one. But what happens if you want to disagree? If someone says that they like chocolate but you don't, or if they do something and you don't, or if they don't do something but you do. We cannot use yo también, yo tampoco, a mí también, and a mí tampoco in these instances. What you can say is yo sí, o a mí sí, or you can say yo no, o a mí no. Let's have a look at some examples. Me gusta el chocolate. A mí no. So as you can see here, Sari is saying that she likes chocolate, but Alejandro doesn't. So he will say a mí no. It doesn't appeal to me. And Ana says yo no estudio medicina. So she's not studying medicine, but Clara is. So she can use yo también or yo tampoco here. She has to say yo sí, I am, or I do. Muy bien. Esa es la diferencia entre también y tampoco. That's the difference between también and tampoco. I really hope that you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will see you next class. Adiós, hasta luego.